Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to the session. This is the start of Compose Camp. We'll be explaining more on that later. So first of all, uh, a big thank you for joining this session. We have 69 students who's been participating in this first session, and I'm very glad that you guys took your time and for joining this particular thing. And okay, so first of all, I just wanted to ask you something. Like, let's just be interactive first. So, could you guys uh, put in your class along with your batch and your SEM? Like, if I am from CS branch and I'm in the B batch and I'm in the third SEM, so I'll be putting my branch in the chat box. You could just see my branch. So just like that, could you guys just put in your branches so that I could get an idea of like have we covered every student from every branches? Yeah, we can see a lot of CSB students. Yeah, there are CSA students as well. ECB, Triple E. Thank you for joining, guys. Okay, okay, you guys are really interactive. This is great. This is great. Okay, okay. There are students from EB as well. Okay. So, okay, I got another question. Okay. I won't be asking too much questions in this session, but just for the starting part, I just want to clarify this particular thing. And that is there anyone who's not comfortable with me taking class in Malayalam? Like I feel like if I'm gonna take class in Malayalam, it would be more impactful. So if there is anyone who's not feeling like who thinks that I should switch to English itself for instruction, you could just type in yes in the chat box. Okay, so there is a particular person who, yeah, okay. So, okay, then I'll be continuing my class in English itself. Okay, no issues. Okay, that would do it. Okay, now, okay, let's get to the slides. Okay, let's start learning. Okay, but before that, I want to tell you one more thing, and that is, okay. First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Aditya V. I am from CS3B, and I'll be your facilitator for this particular program, which is Compose Camp, organized by Google Developers Students Club of MEC. It is a club that is under the Google India's regional chapter. So basically, a particular camp that would be related to Kotlin or Jetpack Compose every once in every year. So this is just like that. So in this particular timeline, every colleges of which is affiliated with Google will be conducting Compose camps. Okay, so the Compose camp mainly consists of our Compose camp mainly consists of 3 sessions. In the first session, which is this one, we'll be dealing with Kotlin fundamentals. Okay, so I'll be telling you what Kotlin is as a language, how it is different from other languages, and I'll teach you how to write Kotlin programs, simple Kotlin programs that are necessary for the upcoming sessions. Okay, in the second session, we'll be discussing Jetpack Compose. So what Jetpack Compose is, it's a UI library that is being developed by Google, and it's quite a new thing. If you have done web development, I could say that it's quite similar to React.js. So instead of so in basically in an Android app, you have this two code bases. Okay, the first one in which you will be writing all the logic, and it would be in the Kotlin code. Okay, so it's quite similar to JavaScript in web development. And the second one is XML. Okay, XML is quite similar to CSS in web development. So in XML, we used to do all these UI components like putting padding, margin, boxes, columns, rows, etc. All those things. Okay, but now with the development of Jetpack Compose and with the integration of Jetpack Compose to Kotlin, we could write we could develop Android apps using a single code base, a single file, which consists of composables. I'll tell you what composables are in the next upcoming sessions. In this session, we'll just deal with Kotlin. Okay. So let's start. Let's start. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. If my screen is visible, can you please type yes? Okay, I could see a lot of yeses. That's enough. Okay, we'll start. We'll start. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to tell you guys is why we are using Kotlin for Android app development. So I'll just tell you that. Let me use the whiteboard real quick. Okay. So basically, Kotlin is a statically typed language. Okay. Kotlin is a statically typed language. So if is there anyone who knows the difference between statically typed and dynamically typed language? Could I get some yeses? Okay, fine. So basically, the thing is, see, if you guys are familiar with Python, Python is a dynamically typed language. So what do I mean by dynamically typed language? So in a dynamically typed language, what really happens is I'll just show you guys. Okay. So here I'll be just initializing a variable. The name of the variable is x, and it is initialized to an integer value 4. Okay. Now I'm going to print the type of the variable. Okay. Okay, I've done that. Let's run this code. In the shell part, in the right side, you could see that it's giving us an output as class int. So basically, it is actually telling us that the variable x is actually belonging to the type integer. Okay, so we haven't specified that x will be an integer in the line 3, right? We just gave x as a random variable and we just assigned 4 to it, but the Python interpreter was able to automatically detect the type of the variable, and it's giving us int as the result. Okay, now let's see another thing. Now I'm gonna change the value of x to something, say a string, and I'm giving the value of string as hello, and I'm gonna print the string again. No, I'm not gonna print the string. I'm actually going to print the type of the string. Okay. Okay, now in the shell, as you can see, it is showing that the variable x is of type str. At first, it was of type integer, and then it changed to its type, like it dynamically changed its type. So basically, the definition for a dynamically typed language is that whenever you are declaring a variable, uh, in Python or in a dynamically typed language, the variables are, or the type of the variable is being stored or executed during the runtime and not during the compile time. Okay, but Kotlin, as I've said, is a statically typed language. Okay, so I'll just write a code for Kotlin real quick. Okay, you might be not familiar with what fun is, what main is, and all. I'll just explain that. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, Okay, so what really happens here is I have declared a variable x. So var is used to denote that we are going to declare a variable. Okay, and the name of the variable is x, and the value of the variable is 4. So in Kotlin, we have to give like this. Okay, and if we try to change the type of the variable. See, x was pointing to 4, which was an integer. So x was pointing to 4, which was an integer, but then we changed the value of, sorry, okay, then we changed the value of x to a string. Okay, so as you can see, it is giving us an error. Like, see, you can see, I don't know if you are able to see, I'll just zoom in. That's not working. Okay, I'll just run the program and show you. Okay, so I think you guys are able to see the error. Okay, it's in the bottom. It says Kotlin type mismatch, inferred type is string, but int was expected. So, so this tells us that Kotlin is a statically typed language, which means the variables are declared and executed at the compile time itself. So in the runtime, so this is actually we are changing the type of the variable in the runtime. So this is not valid in Kotlin. This is not valid in languages like Java, C++, etc. So I just want to make a clarity on that. Okay. Okay. And now we'll move on to the, we'll go back to our slide. Okay. So yeah, why Kotlin is better than Java, or why we are using Kotlin as our the first uh, like a okay. So what Google says is that you should make an app Kotlin first. And why does Google say that? Okay, because initially we used to build apps in Java, but when we are building an app in Java, it was a cumbersome process. We had to write thousands of lines of code, and many new paradigms and design patterns, or different techniques that's being available in Kotlin was not available in Java during that time. So yeah, still many companies use Java for developing, or many companies use Java to maintain their code base for their Android apps. But also Kotlin is being used as well. Okay, so the reason why Kotlin is better than Java, so first point is complete null safety. I'll be explaining about this point later in this session, not during now. I'll be discussing on nullables, and during that time I'll give you a difference of implementing a null value to a variable in Kotlin as well as in Java. Okay, the second point is Kotlin uses all Java libraries. Okay, you could use the same code in Kotlin as well. Okay, you could use the libraries of Java to build or to upgrade the app using the Kotlin language. I'll just give you an example of that. As you can see in this picture, the first line says import java.util.star, which is actually used to import packages from Java folder or whatever. Okay, and the rest of the code is just Kotlin code. Okay. Okay, the next point is Kotlin has core routines. Okay, you might be not familiar with what core routines are. I'll just tell you what that is. So basically, Kotlin has this particular design pattern or a functionality called core routines. So as you can see in this picture, um, when you actually build an Android app and when you deploy it, okay, all the UI components or all the things that we actually see in the app, like as it's mentioned, small operations, buttons, okay, the UI, and all those things, images, etc. Will be accelerated and it will be displayed. Okay, but there are certain functions, okay, certain background activities that will be happening in the application throughout the life cycle of the app. So a life cycle of the app is starts when the app is opened till the time when the app is closed. Okay, so during that time, certain processes like file upload, file download, you might be not okay, network operation, image loading, etc. So what coroutines does is uh, it creates an asynchronous programming function. So what asynchronous programming is that you could okay, you could just say it as a function that goes on and it does not exit. Like, okay, you called a particular function, okay, or you called a particular okay, you called a particular function and it keeps on working continuously, and you could do other processes as well. The task is not yet completed, it is still running in the background, but just along with that you could do other tasks as well. So this whole process of splitting the tasks into the ones that have to be done throughout the app cycle and the ones that have to be done for a real instance. And this particular concept is called core routines. These things are not, you don't have to understand these concepts in a full way to understand or to make an Android app at first, but these are like the stark differences between Kotlin and Java that one should actually know. Okay, the fourth and the last point is Kotlin has very less code compared to Java. So I've given some examples of it. So this is creating an object using a class in Java. So as you can see, this is a very long class name is the name of the class. And whenever you are creating an object, you have to prefix the object with the class name. Okay, and that is a long task, right? That is it takes time to write all these things, right? But in Kotlin, we just have to specify that it's a variable. The second one is this would be our variable class, and the third one would be the name of the class. That's how you will be writing a code. Okay, just like that, you have buttons. Okay, so you can see the difference of writing a button in Java as well as in Kotlin. Look how simple it is to write a code in Kotlin for making a button. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now, uh, so basically we completed two topics, which is first is why Kotlin, second one why Kotlin is better than Java. Okay, now we will be deep diving into Kotlin programming. We'll do small programs. We'll deal with the syntaxes of Kotlin. I'll make you guys familiarize with it. And just like that, we'll move on. Okay. Okay, so for this particular session, I'll be using IntelliJ IDEA. In the last part of the session, I'll tell you how to install this particular software so that you could also try it. But the thing is, you don't really have to download this particular software because we'll be building the app in Android Studio. This software was just taken so that I could explain Kotlin really well because. So if you want to practice, there are many online compilers out there. You could try them out. Okay. Okay. So first, we'll write a simple hello world program. Okay. Let me just zoom in real quick. Okay. Okay. So whenever you are writing a Kotlin program, the starting point of Kotlin program is declare a function in Kotlin. So if you want to write a function in Kotlin, the first thing that you have to give is a fun keyword. Okay, fun is short form for function. So first thing that you have to give is fun keyword. Okay, so as I've said before, for like main function is the start of a Kotlin program. So every Kotlin program should have a main function. So we'll be giving that main function. Uh, it is enclosed with parentheses, and then we'll be putting curly brackets, and within this curly bracket we'll be putting our code. Okay, so as I said, we'll be doing hello world, right? So for printing something in Kotlin, the keyword used is print line. Okay, so print line function allows us to display a text or display any value that is being passed. Okay, so I'll be passing a string. So hello, I passed the string and we'll run it. You can see the green button over here. I clicked on it. Okay, Now it's running. Okay. So at the bottom, okay, and now you can see that hello is being printed. Okay. Okay, now if you want to print another line, so the function name is print line. So what happens is when you give another print line statement with a different value, we'll run it again and let's see what happens. Okay, now you can okay, now you can see that it is giving hello in the first line and world in the second line. This is because we have used the function print line. Okay, so what print line does is it executes the statement or whatever that was inside the print line function, and it returns a new line as well. Okay, so it keeps a new line over here. So the next whatever that is going to be executed next will be from the next line. So I hope you guys know this. Many programming languages use this same concept. So there isn't much to talk about it. Okay. Okay. Next we'll be moving on to variables. Okay. Okay. Variables. So how do we declare a variable in Kotlin? Okay. As I've said before, for declaring a function, you have to give a fun keyword. Okay. Before giving the function name, right? Just like that, for declaring a variable, we have to give the var keyword. Okay. And then we have to give the name of the variable. Okay. The next thing what we have to do is put a colon. Okay. And then we have to give the type of the variable. Okay, so I have to put integer in my variable myvar. Myvar is my variable. Int is the data class. Okay, or data type of the data that will be stored in my variable. Okay, and I will be initializing this value to 4. Okay, now let's print this thing. Okay, for printing, we'll be just putting the name of the variable inside the print line statement. Okay, now let's run this thing. Okay. As you can see, you got an answer 4 over here. Okay. Now I'll tell you another thing. Okay. As I've said before, we have to give this var keyword. Along with that, we have to give the name of the variable. And I've also told that you have to specify the data class or the data type that in which you will be passing. Okay. So in Kotlin, there is this advantage. Okay. And that is you can just skip this whole data class part. Okay. You don't really have to specify it. Kotlin automatically checks the value. So Kotlin sees that the value is 4. So it tells the compiler that the my variable or my var is a variable which is having a data type of integer. This process is done automatically. Okay, so you can actually do the thing in this way as well. It really works. Okay, I'll just show you. Okay, you got 4 again. Okay. Okay, now let's pass a string. Okay, now I'm gonna run this thing. Okay, so the string works as well. So you could either explicitly give that the data type of myvar is string like this. Okay, or you could just avoid it. Okay, it's your whatever you wish. Okay, if you want to give, you can, or else you could just skip. Okay. Uh, okay, and next. Now, I've given the value of hello world, hello friends to my var. Now I want to print a text. Okay, like this. The value of my var is okay. So I have to print this particular thing along with my value, my var. Okay. So if you give it like this, okay, the value of my var is my var. So if you give it like this, what really happens is, see, the value of my var is my var. So basically, it is not taking the value of my var, it is just giving us whatever my var is as a string. Okay, we are not getting hello friends. We should get the value of my var is hello friends as the result, but we are not getting it. Okay, so for putting values in strings during print line execution, we have to use a dollar symbol. Okay, put a dollar sign and then put your variable name after it. Okay, you can see the color changed, right? Okay, now we'll do the run command again. Okay, now you can see the output. The value of my var is hello friends. So just by putting this dollar sign in front of the my var variable, we were able to convert my var from the normal my var to the value the my var holds. Okay. So I hope you got that one as well. Uh, Next thing is auto type. Okay, I've discussed that. Okay, there is this another thing. Okay, in Kotlin that you might want to know. So instead of putting var, we can put val. Val is also a keyword that is used to declare a particular variable in Kotlin. So if you give val and assume that the name of my variable is my var, and I'm initializing the value of the my var to 4. Okay, now I'm trying to change the value of my var to let's say 5. Okay, I'm gonna print it. So make sure that I have used the keyword val instead of var. Okay, so I'll just run this thing. Okay, see, you could see an error over here. Kotlin val cannot be reassigned. So what val basically does is val makes your variable immutable. Okay, so this is a thing that you have to understand. Okay, also val makes your variable mutable. So you could change the value of my var if you gave var instead of val. Now I'll run this thing again. I've changed val to var. Okay. I'll run this thing again. See, you got the value 5. So var changes the value. You could change the value of my var when you're using var keyword, but when you're using val, you cannot change that. Okay. So we are done with that concept as well. So before moving to the next thing, okay, is there anyone who's having some doubts regarding the things that I've discussed till now? Could you please mention that in the chat? Okay, are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say? If if you are able to follow me, please put a yes in the chat box. It will be really helpful. Is the class going great? What do you think about it? Okay, okay, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Okay, we'll move on. Okay. Uh, it's already 8:40. I have to complete a few more things. We'll do it real quick. Okay. Okay. So we have discussed how to write a hello world program in Kotlin, how to write a variable, how to declare variables in Kotlin, how to print the values of variables. Now we'll be discussing strings. Okay. So let's go back to my ID. Okay. So actually, I actually have shown you how to write a string, right? You have to give a var keyword, and then the name of my variable is my var, or I'll just give it as my string. Okay, you can either give this, okay, that is explicitly say that my string is a string, it belongs to the string data class. Okay, but you don't really have to give it, as I've said before. Okay, I'll just put some text in it. Okay, uh, I'll put everything in small letter. Okay, okay. Uh, so when you give print line, the string is, you have to put a dollar sign to get the value of my string. The string is good evening. Okay, this is something that you know already, right? Now I'll show you something. Okay, there is one thing that you have to understand, and that is mm, int, comma, string. All these are data classes. Okay, they are not data types actually, they're data classes. So what a data class is, if you take string data class, so in string data class it consists of certain methods. For those who are not familiar with methods, methods are same as functions. So the string data class has certain functions that could be passed. So before that, I'll just tell you what objects are as well. So here I was saying my string as a variable, right? I said my string is a variable. Okay, but uh, if you are if you're really keen, uh, you could understand that my string is actually an object of string data class. Okay. String is a data class. So my string, I've said that my string is a variable, but at the same time, my string is actually an object of string data class. Okay. So what can an object do? So objects can call functions. Okay. There are certain functions that are present in the data class. If we take the string data class, it has certain functions like to reverse the string, to convert to uppercase, to convert to lowercase, to calculate the length of the string, and things like that. And when you actually declare an object which has a class string, okay, so from the next session onwards, I'll still call this as a variable because that would be easy for you. But keep this in mind, my string is an object, okay, which belongs to the class string. It is an instance of the class string. Okay, so the objects can call functions. Okay, now I'll call function on my string and I'll just show you that. Okay, so I'll give another print line. The string is my string dot tilde uppercase. Okay, when I gave this uppercase, so what this does is it converts whatever value that was inside my string to uppercase and stores back to my string. Okay, so when I typed this, it automatically completed the syntax. So whenever you are giving two or more words in a like in this particular dollar sign. After this dollar sign, if you give one or more, I mean, two or more words, you have to put this curly brackets as well. Okay. So if you are just giving this one particular thing, just my string, you don't really have to give this curly braces. But when you are associating it with another function, or if your variable name consists of two words or something like that, you have to put the curly braces. Okay. I'll write the uppercase again and I'll just show you what happens. Okay, so as you can see, it changed the string to all capital. Okay, you got good evening in caps. Okay, just like that, you have another function, which is reversed. So what reverse does is it reverses the entire thing. Okay. See, it reverses the entire thing. You got something like this. Okay. So for learning more about this, you could just browse and see what all functions are available in different data classes. And this is something you have to learn by doing stuff. Okay. When you make a project, you might have to introduce you might have just like that you will be learning stuff. So as part of the fundamentals, I was just showing you some functions that are used in string class. Just like that, there are functions in class as well. Okay, similar to that. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next topic, which is if statements. Okay, if statements are very easy to learn. Okay, I'll give my fun keyword, and main is the name of my class. Sorry, main is the name of my function. This is the starting point of the Kotlin program. Okay, so here I'll give a variable age. I'll put that value to. Okay, I'll teach you another concept as well. Let's keep this value readline. So what readline does is, if you have done C++ or if you have done the language C, you might be familiar uh, with the function scanf. Okay, what scanf does is it actually takes input from the users, right? Just like that, readline takes input from the user at real time and it converts it to string. So the value of readline or the whatever that would be stored in age when you give readline function would be a string. Okay. So we all know that age cannot be a string, right? Age should be an integer. So the readline function also has another function. Okay, the readline. What do you say? The readline is a object, or no. Sorry, the readline returns string, right? Yeah. So readline belongs to the string class. Okay. So I've said before, string class has certain methods like uppercase, reversed, etc. Just like that, string case also has another method which is called the toInt. Okay. So you could just put this thing. Okay. And then when you run this thing, you will get, I'll put a question mark here. Okay. You might be not familiar with why I gave this question mark here. I'll explaining this in the next 5 minutes. Okay. For the sake of teaching if statement, just bear with me. Okay. I'll explain this use of question mark later. If age greater than 18 or greater than 17, print line adult, else print line not adult. Okay, it's a simple program. Okay, we'll just try to run this one. Okay, we got an error here. Let's see the error. Operator core corresponds to a dot qualified call age dot comparative, which is not allowed on a nullable receiver age dot function. Okay. Okay, so we'll do that then. Okay. I'll teach you nullables first. Okay. So as we can see in the slide, 1 second. Yeah. In the slide, the first thing that I've said was why Kotlin is better than Java. The first argument that I gave was a complete null safety. Okay, so what this means is that when you input a null value to a variable in Java, and when you try to print it, okay, or when you try to print it, you would get a null pointer exception. But it is not the same with Kotlin. Okay, when you try to pass null to an object and when you put methods to the object, you could actually make it work. Okay, and that is what null safety is all about. And I'll just show you in code and you'll be able to understand more. Okay, so okay, I'll just show how this works in Java first. I will look for an online Java compiler. Okay, I'll take this one. I hope you guys are able to see this. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be putting a string. The variable name is value, and I'll be storing null to it. Okay, now I'll be passing a check. Okay, a condition. Sorry, I forgot to put the semicolon. I have to put semicolon in Java. Okay. So I'll just explain the logic of this program. So I've given a value whose data type is string and initialize the value to null, and I've checked if value is equal to hello. Okay, then it would print true. If it's not, it will print false. We know that the value of sorry, the I'll name this variable another name. Okay, I'll give it here. Okay. We know that the value of myvar is null. Okay, it's not high, so it should return false, right? Let's see the output. Okay, as you can see, it gives us an output saying exception in thread main java.lang null pointer exception. So the only thing that you have to look is at the null pointer exception. So Java does not take this particular thing, that is null value, for any variables or objects. So you cannot pass methods to the objects if it is having a null value. Okay, so you won't be getting this false statement. So but in Kotlin, it actually surpasses this particular thing. Okay, so what happens in Kotlin is, okay, I will give the value null. Okay, I'll give another one like uppercase or something like that. Okay, I want to do uppercase here. Okay, so I'll just give this value as hello. Okay, and uh, this is my condition, and that is if myvar dot get zero. So get zero actually gives us the first value which is present in the string. So it should return h. So I'll just put it here. My okay. So as you can see, it is having a red underline, right? So this tells us that it is return type mismatch required boolean found character. Uh, Wait a second. Okay. It is not supposed to work like this. Okay. It's not working. Okay, I'll just tell you about nullables later. I don't know why it's not working. Uh, so I'll give you that. I'll just talk about it later. Okay. We'll just skip that for now. Don't worry. I'll just tell you about it in the next session. There has been some problem. Okay. 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 Now we'll be moving on to we have two more concepts to complete. Okay. And that is when and how to put parameters in a function. So I'll talk about when. So when is quite similar to switch statement. You might have used switch statement in C. So when is similar to switch statement. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you the code. You will be able to understand the logic. Let's give a variable age equal to 18. And okay, we'll give when first, and then we put age inside it. Okay. Then we'll give the curly braces. Okay. And then here is where we'll be putting the values of age. So if value of age in 0 to 10, then inline it. Okay. So I'll just explain this. Okay. So I think you got this one right. When is the name of the function? Sorry, when is the name of the keyword? Okay, which is used to perform the switch function. Okay. And we'll be putting the argument age inside it. Okay. And what int gives you is that in what in gives you is that when you have to put a range of values. Okay, when you have to check for a range of values, you can use the keyword in. So in 0 to 12 or 0 to 10. This tells us that whether the age lies between the age of 0 and 10, where 0 and 10 are both inclusive. Okay. Dot dot tells 2. Okay. So 0 to 10 is the range. Okay. I'll just put that thing here. 0 to 10 will be the range. Okay. It prints kid. Okay. Now if you want to put another condition, okay, in 10 to 15, we'll be putting some other value. We'll give the value as kid2 or something like that. Okay. Now, if you want to pass a single value, okay, if you want to check if age is equal to a particular value, okay, I have to check if age is equal to 18, and I have to just give 18, just like that, and give this thing, this particular operator, and then put print line. Okay. Also, you can use else. Else is quite similar to switch statement. The default statement. Okay. Okay. When you run this thing, I've actually given the age as 18, so it should return adult. Yes, it's returning adult as a result. So this is how a when works. I think you guys got the idea of when. Okay.
Yes. Can you show the one output of in statement
Uh,
0 to 10?
okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So I'll change the value of age to say 5. So 5 belongs to 5 belongs between 0 and 10, right? Okay. So we'll just run this one. Okay. So as you can see, you got the result as kid. I hope your doubt is cleared. Can you please reply?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, we got other doubts as well. Sorry, I didn't check this one. Okay. The first thing is, do we follow camel case in Kotlin? Yes, we do follow camel case in Kotlin just for naming variables. Okay. And functions as well, I guess. Yeah. For functions and variables, we'll be using camel case. But when it comes to composables, which I'll be teaching you in the next session, we'll be using capital letter for each separate words. Okay. The second doubt is, hey, why do we put it inside curly brackets while doing it outside, like while assigning to variables? Subramani, will you be able to explain your question if you are in the class? Okay, he's not there, I guess. Okay, okay. There is this one more thing that I want to tell you, and that is how to pass parameters inside a function. Okay, I'll just do a function, fun main. Okay, we'll just put it just like this. Okay, outside the function, we'll declare another function. This will be a user-defined function. Okay, okay. We'll try to write a program which returns power of a number. So if the base is 2 and the exponent is 3, it should return the value 8. Okay, so I'll just put it here. Base 2 exponent 3, what would it be?
8.
Yeah, okay, correct. Yeah. So we'll be writing a program for that. Mm, I'll just give. Okay. So this is a function declaration where we gave the keyword fund. The second one is the name of the function. Okay. Then inside the brackets, we will be putting the parameters. So the first parameter is base. Okay. We have to pass base. So while passing parameters, the first thing that you have to understand is you will be passing the variable name first. So I'll be passing base. Okay. And then I'll be putting the column. Okay. And then I'll be putting the type of this particular variable. We know that the type of the variable is integer. So I'll just put integer. Okay. Our first parameter is done. Okay. Now the second parameter, I'll put exponent, colon, and I'll put integer, which will be the data type. Okay. So I guess this is clear. And now we'll put the values. Okay, first I'll create a variable named result or our value equal to, I'll put it as 1. Okay. Uh, I'll give a 4. I haven't explained 4, so there isn't much to explain in 4. So uh, in C, it is different. In C++, it's just different. But in Kotlin, it is quite similar to Python. Okay, the for loop and all. So for, you have to put a variable, any variable. You could take I. Okay, you don't have to declare this particular thing. Okay, so here I stands for any item. Okay, so you could put any variable inside it. You don't have to declare it explicitly. You can just put it inside the for loop. Okay, I think I've explained this thing in. Okay, so I'm picking, sorry, yeah, for I in 1 to exponent. Okay, we have to go from 1 to exponent, and then we have to multiply it. Okay, of value is equal to of value star days. Okay, outside the for loop, will be returning a, I will be returning the per value. Okay, okay, and now you might be having a doubt. Okay, and that is here we are returning something inside a function. So do we have to give uh, a type, the return type in front of the function name? No, you don't have to put that in front of the function name. But when you are returning something from a function, and if you know the type of that return value, you have to specify it outside this parenthesis. After putting a colon, you have to give int. Okay, so this tells Kotlin that the power value or the power value is having a data type of integer, and the function first power is supposed to return it. Okay, this is how you will be writing. This is the syntax for a function with a return statement. Okay. Okay, now assume that you don't have a return statement. Okay. No, first we'll just run this one. Okay. Now you have to put the values in main as well. Okay. Now we have just declared the function here. Now you have to call the function. First pow. First you have to give the base. We'll give the base as 2, then 3. So whatever you can see this. Okay, base colon. This came automatically. Okay, I didn't do anything. You don't have to do anything as well. You just have to give the name of the function. Then you have to put in the arguments. The first is your first value is 2, then a 3. Okay, that's it. Now it is supposed to give us the result. I'll store it in a variable. Okay, and we'll just print result. Okay. So you can see the result, you got the answer as 8. So our program works fine. Now, as I was saying, if the return type is void or if you don't have anything to return, you could just simply give unit. Okay, here. So unit is a keyword that tells Kotlin that there is nothing to be returned. Okay, we have to remove this one as well. Okay, but it's not necessary that you have to put the unit here. You have to specify unit. You can avoid this one as well, no issues. Because if you have seen the main function, we never put the unit thing, right? So it is also a function, but it worked well without using the unit keyword. So if you don't have a return value, you don't really have to put unit, but it is preferred that you could put the unit keyword after the parenthesis if you are not having a return value. Guys, are you able to follow till now?
Can show without the output without unit.
Uh, without unit. So I won't be able to put return inside it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just put a print line here and okay, a value here. I don't have to put this one. Okay, because we don't have anything to return without using unit, right? I'm not using unit. I'll be just running this code. Okay, as you can see, you got the value 8 again. So it works well. So with or without using unit, when you don't have a return type, you can either use unit as a keyword or you can just pass in the function without using the unit. I hope that's clear.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing with nullables, right? Okay, that was an issue. Uh, are you guys able to understand why there was a null pointer exception in Java? Uh, could you
Yes.
guys type? Okay, okay. You were able to understand. Okay. Mm. Let's do that again and see if it works. Yeah, how in Kotlin? Uh, okay. Okay, I'll just show you about nullables and null safety in the next session. Okay, there is some issue with the Kotlin thing. Okay, I'll just explain that. Okay, is there anyone who's having any doubts till now on the topic? Any doubts, guys? If there are no doubts, I'll actually show you how to install IntelliJ on your device. Okay. Or you could use a particular online compiler as well. So I'll give you the name of the online compiler. One second. Um, so I'll just put that in the chat box. You could just use that compiler to write code and check it. Okay. It's actually enough for all the basic tasks and all. You're not gonna do a lot in it. So I've put it in the chat box. It does work with VS too, right? Yes, definitely it works with VS, but then you have to install JDK separately. And yeah, if you have the JDK, it works in VS. Okay. Okay. So do you guys want to know how to install IntelliJ? Uh, if yes, can you please put that in the chat box? Okay, so I'll just tell you pretty quick how to install IntelliJ as well. Okay. So IntelliJ is just for compiling Kotlin code alone. Okay. So for doing Android development, we won't be using IntelliJ, but just for the sake of doing the Kotlin code, we can use IntelliJ. So I'll just put that link down. Okay. So yeah, this you could just go through this link will it work on phone? No, Aftab, it won't.